Told my girlfriend that guy was a walking red flag, but she went to his party, ignoring every warning. Walked in just as she pulled her close, whispering something that made her laugh. He noticed me, smirked, and said, "She's having a good time, bro." My fist made sure he wasn't, and I walked out knowing I was better off alone. I'm Nate. I'm 32. Born and raised in Missoula, Montana. I've worked construction since I was 19. I fix things. That's what I do, for work, for family, in relationships. I like stability. I don't like mind games. I don't like gray areas. Jenna was the first woman I truly saw a future with. She made things feel calm, even when life got messy. We had our ups and downs like everyone else, but we always talked things out. At least, that's what I thought. Then she started her new job at this local marketing company downtown. It was her dream job. I was happy for her, proud even. She'd been working retail for years, finally landed something with benefits and regular hours. She was glowing. And then came Wes. First time I heard about him, he was the funny guy from the office. Said he reminded her of her older brother. I remember thinking, cool, no problem. I'm not the jealous type. I've been through enough in life to know trust is everything. But then things started feeling different. Jenna started texting more during dinner. Laughing at her phone when we were supposed to be watching our shows. She'd tell me it was just group chats from work, but I knew she was talking to one person. Wes. One night, I saw his name pop up on her screen while she was in the shower. I didn't open it. I didn't need to. The preview said, "You'd look even better without the coat, winky face." I asked her about it. She got defensive, told me it was a joke and that I was being insecure. Said I was trying to control who she could be friends with. I backed off. I really did. I told myself, if she says it's innocent, I'll believe her. But that seed of doubt had already been planted. And every time she smiled at her phone, every time she turned her screen away when I walked into the room, it grew. Then came the party. It was a Friday. She came home and told me Wes was throwing a house party for the team. Said it was no big deal. Just coworkers hanging out. When I offered to go, she hesitated. Said it wasn't really my scene. Said it was just marketing people being lame. I told her I didn't like the idea of her being at his place without me. She told me I was overreacting. We argued about it, but I let it go. I didn't want to be that guy. But I couldn't sit still. Around 9:30, I got in my truck and drove over. I'd never been to his place before, but I'd seen the address on an invite stuck to our fridge. When I pulled up, I could hear the music from the street. Loud, obnoxious, the kind of party you throw when you're trying to impress people. I parked around the corner, waited a bit, then walked in like I was supposed to be there. Nobody questioned me. The house was packed. I made my way through the living room, down the hallway, past some drunk guy throwing up into a plant, and then I saw them. Jenna and Wes. In the kitchen. Alone. He had his hand on her waist. She wasn't pulling away. He leaned in close, whispered something to her. She laughed, like really laughed. Threw her head back, touched his arm like it was the funniest thing she'd ever heard. And that's when Wes looked up and saw me standing there. His smile didn't fade. If anything, it grew. He looked straight at me and said, "She's having a good time, bro." He knew what he was doing. I don't remember making a decision. My body just moved. I walked right up to him and punched him in the face. Hard. I heard the crack of his nose. Saw the blood start pouring immediately. He stumbled back against the fridge, cussing and holding his face. People were yelling. Someone dropped a beer. A girl screamed. Jenna looked at me like I was a stranger. "Nate, what the hell?" I looked right at her and said, "You made your choice." Then I walked out. Didn't wait for her to follow. Didn't care who thought I was the bad guy. I knew what I saw. I knew I wasn't crazy. And in that moment I knew I was done. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the edge of my bed staring at the floor until the sun came up. I didn't cry. I didn't drink. I just sat there, thinking about everything. About how it all changed so fast. About how I could have sworn Jenna was different. At 6:14 a.m., my phone lit up. Jenna, 6:14 a.m. We need to talk. Please. I didn't answer. A few minutes later, she tried calling. I let it ring. By 7 a.m., she was at the front door. I saw her through the peephole, standing there in last night's clothes, makeup smudged, eyes red. She looked like she'd been crying for hours. I didn't let her in. She knocked, soft at first, then louder. I stayed quiet. Nate, please, she said through the door. I swear it's not what it looked like. I almost opened it. Almost. But then I remembered the way she laughed with him. The way he touched her, and she didn't flinch. I remembered his stupid smirk. I walked away from the door. She stood there for a while. Then I heard her car start, and she left. A few hours later, I got a text from a mutual friend, Nick. He worked with me on job sites from time to time. Said he was at the party too. Nick, 9:47 a.m. Dude, you didn't hear this from me, but Wes's jaw might be fractured. Heard Jenna drove him to the ER last night. I stared at that message for a long time. So, not only did she defend him after I caught them, she took him to the hospital. She chose him again. After everything. That was the final nail. I started moving her stuff out that afternoon. She came back around 3 p.m. I was tossing her clothes into a plastic bin when she walked in. What are you doing? She said, eyes wide. What does it look like? She started crying, real heavy sobs. Said she was sorry. Said it didn't mean anything, that she was just tipsy and caught in the moment. I asked her one thing. Did you sleep with him? She didn't answer right away. And that silence told me everything I needed to know. I nodded, walked past her, and kept packing. She tried grabbing my arm. I pulled away. You lied to me, I said. Over and over. Then she dropped a twist I didn't see coming. He said he loved me. I froze. What? Wes, she whispered. He told me last week. I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't want it to be true. But I think I have feelings for him. I laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was insane. I gave her 3 years of my life. Helped her get on her feet. Supported her through anxiety attacks, family drama, all of it. And now she tells me she thinks she has feelings for the clown who texted her winky faces at midnight? Then go, I said. Go be with him. Just know you'll never find someone who had your back like I did. She didn't say anything. Just cried and grabbed a few things before leaving. Thought it was over? Not even close. A week later, I found out Jenna and Wes were officially together. She posted a photo of them at some local brewery, captioned, "Sometimes love finds you in the messiest places." But it got worse. Because Wes wasn't just a player. He was a liar too. And soon, karma started creeping in, real slow. 2 weeks after she moved out, I got a call from an unknown number. I usually don't answer those, but something told me to pick up. Hey, this is Marcy. I work with Jenna. I knew the name. Jenna mentioned her once or twice, always said she was cool but a little dramatic. Guess now I was about to find out what that meant. Can I ask you something? Marcy said. Off the record, like. I shouldn't even be calling you. I sat up. Go ahead. She hesitated. Did you know Wes had a fiancée? I nearly dropped the phone. No. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, he was engaged. Her name's Tara. She moved here from Boise last year for him. They were living together until, 2 months ago. He told everyone she went back home, but she didn't. She's still here. I saw her at a grocery store last week. I didn't even know how to process that. He's been telling people you beat him up because you're crazy jealous. Marcy added. But now it's starting to make sense. This flipped everything on its head. Jenna wasn't just the other woman, she didn't even know she was. Or maybe she did. Hell if I knew anymore. But I knew what I had to do. I tracked her down. Took me 3 days and one buddy who used to work in private security. I found her at a yoga studio just outside of town. I didn't want to scare her, so I waited until she was done and approached her in the parking lot. She looked at me like I was a stranger, which, fair. But I introduced myself and told her why I was there. She was quiet at first. Then she broke. She told me everything. How she and Wes were together for almost 4 years. How they got engaged last Christmas. How he started, working late, all the time around the same period Jenna got her job. How one night she came home early and he wasn't alone. Not with Jenna, someone else. He's cheated on me before, she admitted. But I thought this time we were past that. I guess I was wrong. I felt a mix of sympathy and rage. This guy was a full-blown narcissist, bouncing from woman to woman, lying through his teeth. She asked me what I wanted. I told her the truth. I wanted him to feel what it's like to lose everything. She nodded slowly. I think I can help with that. We started talking. We swapped timelines, texts, anything that showed overlap. I even gave her a screenshot of that winky text he sent Jenna the night I confronted her. She was building a case. Not for court. But for something way worse. Exposure. She started sending anonymous tips to Wes's company. He wasn't just some marketing clown. He worked part-time as a brand rep for a local sports team. Public image mattered. And a little scandal could ruin that quick. She also got in touch with other women she found in his phone. Apparently, she still had access to his cloud. Idiot never changed his password. 3 women responded. One of them had receipts, literal hotel receipts. Another had screenshots of him asking her to keep it quiet. Jenna? Still clueless. I watched all of it unfold from a distance. I didn't post anything. I didn't reach out. I stayed quiet. Calm. But I knew something was coming. And then one night, Jenna texted me. Jenna, 10:34 p.m. Did you know about this? Everyone's turning on Wes. His job's on the line. What the hell is going on? I didn't answer. I just smiled. Because the game had just started. After Jenna's message, I didn't say a word. She sent 2 more texts over the next few days. One was angry. One was confused. She didn't know what was happening, but she knew something was falling apart fast, and I think deep down, she started to wonder if I had something to do with it. She wasn't wrong. I never told her what I knew. Never told her about Tara. Or the other women. Or the files being sent to his job. I just let the truth hit them both like a train. A week after that first tip went out, Wes was pulled into a meeting with his marketing firm. They suspended him. The local sports team dropped him a few days later. Not officially fired, they just parted ways. PR talk. But in a small town like ours, the rumors spread faster than wildfire. Marcy told me someone leaked screenshots to a local blogger. Nothing illegal, just messy. A story titled, Behind the Smile, The Double Life of Wes Carter. By the time it was all out in the open, his name was poison. And Jenna? She stayed with him for a little while after it all came out. Tried to play it cool, act like she believed him. Said on Facebook that everyone makes mistakes. And they were working through it. But then she found out about Tara. Found out she was just one name on a list. Not the girl, just a girl. When she called me crying again, I didn't answer. She sent me a long message a few nights later. Said she felt like a fool. Said she wished she had listened to me. That I was the only person who really loved her the right way. That she missed me. Said she hoped it wasn't too late. I stared at that message for a long time. Thought about the years we had. The things I forgave. The nights I laid awake wondering if I was just being paranoid. Thought about that night in the kitchen. The way she laughed when he whispered to her. Like I didn't even exist. And I typed, "You made your bed. Sleep in it." I blocked her right after. A month later, Tara sent me a picture. Wes's car was on Craigslist. Cheap. Rumor was, he needed the money. He lost his apartment. Moved in with a buddy. Was trying to rebuild. No one was buying it. Tara moved on. She's dating someone new now. Good guy, from what I hear. We still talk sometimes, not romantic, just friends. She told me the whole mess taught her not to settle for someone who plays games. I said same here. As for me? I'm not gonna lie, getting even didn't fix everything. I still carry the weight. Still wonder how I didn't see it sooner. But I'm okay with that. Because in the end, I got something they never will. I got peace. And they got exactly what they deserved.